sports.
We are the Force. We are the Force.
Last night, the Rays seemed on the brink of their 5th consecutive loss, trailing Boston 5-1, when suddenly things turned around as Tampa Bay rallied for 4 in the 6th, adding 2 more in the 7th. Then Steve Geltz slammed the door in the 9th, leading the Rays to a 7-5 victory. Tonight, it's a marquee pitching matchup. Right-hander Jake Odorizzi faces off against Red Sox opening day starter Clay Buchholz. Following last night's comeback victory, the Rays now, as they take on the Boston Red Sox, look for a series win. After dropping the first game and falling behind last night, the Rays posted that 7-5 victory. And so this afternoon, or tonight, we should say, this is the rubber game of this series. Hi again, everyone, with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. So good to have you with us. Well, 2 pitchers on the mound tonight, 2 right-handers who have shown in this facility that they can be very, very tough. Clay Buchholz has not given the Rays anything here recently, and Jake Odorizzi continues to be tough here against the Red Sox.
I mean, this is a pitching matchup. You're talking about the rubber game. Who's going to win this series? It's going to be decided by these 2 guys on the mound more than likely. And you're right, Dwayne, they've been awesome. Clay Buchholz, 10 career starts at Tropicana Field, an ERA of 1.95. But look at what he's done in his last 3. 21 innings pitched. He's only given up 10 hits in those 3 starts. He has been dominant against the Rays here with his variety of pitches. He's going to cut the ball, good fastball, good breaking ball, and he's shown a very good changeup. Jake Odorizzi, on the other hand, off to a good start for the Rays this year, and look what he's done against the Red Sox in this building. 2 starts, 1 earned run in 13 innings, just 5 hits given up. So he's got a good read on this ball club, what they bring to the table, and he's feeling very confident in what he's doing this year. This sits up to be a barn burner here in Game 3.
And last night, with the Rays coming back to win that ball game, not only some outstanding and timely hitting, as you take a look at Odorizzi here coming off that last start of 6 innings, 3 runs and 5 hits against the Yankees, but he has been so good. And tonight will try to earn the Rays a series victory. Last night it was the bullpen that came through for the Rays down the stretch, and it was Steve Geltz who closed the door and registered his first Major League save. Tom Callis takes a look at that when we return.
this year and trying to do so against the Boston Red Sox, who have not lost a series all season long. Jake Odorizzi on the mound for the Rays. He'll be opposed by Clay Buchholz for the Boston Red Sox. For the Rays, it's been quite an adventure for Steve Geltz in spring training, because here's a guy who wasn't even sure he was going to make the roster out of Port Charlotte, and then he made the roster, started dancing around for his first Major League start on April 10th. Just 4 days later, picked up his first Major League win out of the bullpen, and then on the 22nd last night, picked up his first Major League save. No other Major League pitcher has a start, a win, and a save this season. We caught up with Kevin Cash and Steve Geltz himself about the production from the right-hander this season.
Kelsey, he's thrown the ball great. Every time we've asked him to come in, whether it's a start in Miami or come in a big situation, he's done very well. So, just his overall body of work's giving us all confidence.
I just like to enjoy every day I'm here, because you don't know when it's going to be the last one. So, whatever the term for that is, coin it whatever you want. But I just like to have fun, keep it loose, and help my team win.
I think the term is awesome. We're less than 3 minutes until the first pitch between the Red Sox and the Rays. Rubber game of this 3-game series. Clay Buchholz, a lot of success in this building. Jake Odorizzi, a lot of success so far this year. Should be a good one. Enjoy all the action with Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson coming up next on Sun Sport.
Rays closing out a win last night. Tonight they will send Jake Odorizzi, the 25-year-old right-hander, to the mound to face off against the Boston Red Sox. Here is the Boston lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Mookie Betts will lead it off, followed by that man right there, Dustin Pedroia, hitting second in front of the DH, David Ortiz, Sandoval, Napoli, and Nava down the middle. Alan Craig is in left. Bogaerts at short. Sandy Leon the catcher. First pitch of this game is a called strike, brought to you by Pinch a Penny. Fastball from Odorizzi to start this game. Chopper toward the middle, And Forsythe, shaded that way, is there to make the play.
Jake Odorizzi, it's been a quick start for him. 3 starts in, a 2-1 record. That ERA 1.74. The opponent's average even more impressive, 129, and just a 197 on base percentage. He's really limiting the opponent's chances to score, and that's why you see he's off to a great start.
Here's Dustin Pedroia. He takes the pitch upstairs. Pedroia last night hit his 4th home run of the year. First the slider up, and now the fastball up, and it's 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes. His home run came off a 1-0 fastball served by Nathan Carnes in the 3rd last night. There's a strike in there.
Pedroia, he's got a big swing, and as you saw in that home run swing, can get to that pitch that's up in the zone if it's away from him.
We'll go full with that foul ball out of play. 3-2.
The one thing that Jake Odorizzi is going to do against this Boston lineup, and we'll probably talk about this each and every start that he makes, is he is going to force them to have to contend with the entire strike zone. He'll work up in the zone just as much as he'll work down to the zone, both corners of the plate.
And he comes back to strike out Pedroia.
Well, and he was able to come back and get him with a cutter that was up in the zone. 88 miles an hour. Very subtle movement, but enough to miss the bat. You see just a little bit of side movement, and I mean very little, but up. Pedroia can't get to it.
Nice job there after falling behind 3-0. Come back to get him. This is David Ortiz in the box. Ortiz collecting a home run last night as well. And the first pitch is a strike with the fastball.
Well, that ability to come back against an accomplished hitter like Pedroia from a bad count, early in the game like that, it just speaks to Odorizzi's confidence this year. And it's confidence that's tangible. I mean, you can see it in the way he carries himself on the mound.
Yeah, that was the biggest observation coming out of his first outing of the year. Just his demeanor, his presence out there. Confident that he had the wherewithal and the stuff to be successful. And he's 1-2-3 against Boston here in the top of the first. David DeJesus will lead off for the Rays tonight. Then Steven Sunzi Jr. and ASDRUBAL CABRERA. No score. Lineup is put together by Kevin Cash, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. DeJesus, Souza, and then Cabrera. Evan Longoria clean up in front of Desmond Jennings and Alan Dykstra. Forsythe, Kiermaier, and Rivera, 7, 8, and 9.
Taking the mound tonight for the Boston Red Sox, right-hander Clay Buchholz. You can see an uneven start to the season, but as we highlighted in the open, his last 3 starts here at Tropicana Field, the Rays have yet to push across an earned run in 21 innings. In fact, he hasn't given up an earned run in this building since July of 2012.
First pitch is wide to David DeJesus. He comes in with that 370 average, and you put in a few walks on that line, and his on-base percentage is over 450. Not bad for a guy who figured to go looking for a spot, if not on this team, somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's tough. Coming into spring training, the talk was already, well, where are you going to end up? Where are you going to fit in on this team? You're probably going to get traded, you know, and you got to still go about your work, get yourself ready for a major league season. And boy, how the worm has turned. He's a guy you count on right now.
It's fouled back, 1-2. Buchholz, 30 years old. He'll be 31 in August. And as you pointed out, particularly here, he has been very tough in recent times against the Rays. His overall record against the Rays is 8-6. And if you back it up to 10 starts here at the Trop, his earned run average is 195. Two. David 6 out of 15 in his career against Buchholz, and Souza on deck. And strike 3 call, dropping that one in there. 2-2, a breaking pitch for the first out.
Boy, he's showing a sharp curveball, and Clay Buchholz, he's going to feature the fastball. He'll cut it, change up, and then that nasty curveball, able to rip over the top of it. Tight spin, and he picks up the strikeout.
Steven Souza Jr., he left with a cramp in last night's game. 1 ball, no strikes. That was scary when he ended that at bat. Souza on the strikeout. Had to leave the cramp in his right arm. Ahead in the count, 2-0. Because what he's done, the start he has gotten himself off to, is more important than ever to the Rays right now as they try to get healthy.
He leads this team in home runs and runs batted in out of the 2-hole.
Curveball, and it comes in too high. 3-0.
You know, and most of that damage has come, you know, in the last week and a half. You know, the first week of the season, just getting his feet underneath him, getting acclimated, getting comfortable, and since then he has been on quite the tear.
Swinging 3-0 and down to third. Sandoval's throw is there in time. Well, a hustling Souza down the line, and the throw beat him in.
That was big league skill all around. Souza rips this ball. A great play by Sandoval. Look at Souza getting down the line. And then Sandoval, knowing that you got a base runner who's going to bust it out of the box, gives up and airs it out over to Mike Napoli. That right there is, yeah, your pitcher loving that play.
Now here's ASDRUBAL CABRERA. He had a couple of hits last night. Hitting .211 overall, .267 as a left-handed hitter. And he's going to try to put down a bunt and fouls it.
Well, let's take a look at the Boston Red Sox defense as it lines up tonight. A little different look in the outfield, left to right. Alan Craig, Mookie Betts, and Daniel Nava. Across the infield, third to first. Of course, Sandoval, Bogaerts, Pedroia, and Napoli. Sandy Leon behind the plate.
Fly ball center field. Betts running a straight line toward left center to make the catch. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the second. No score.
Game in the outfield, left to right. We have Jennings, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. across the infield, third to first. Longoria, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Dykstra. Rene Rivera behind the plate. That defense brought to you by BMW.
Sandoval is going to lead off the second inning. Pablo Sandoval, switch hitting third baseman, takes the ball. Sandoval with that outstanding play on the ball hit by Souza in the bottom of the first. Hot shot that gets past Dykstra up the right field line. Souza has to go to get it. And Sandoval's in at second with a double.
And Pablo Sandoval wasting no time. And he's able to squeeze that in between first base and Alan Dykstra. The dive, the split, it stayed up. No bite on that pitch. Usually Jake Odorizzi able to get a good dive. That good diving action at the end. That dive by Alan Dykstra came up empty, and Sandoval into second base with the leadoff double.
Yeah, that's, as you pointed out, a mistake pitch there that stayed up. He didn't get the depth on it, but Sandoval has been raking against right-handed pitching, coming in hitting .350 off righties. He's in scoring possession, and Mike Napoli fouls this one. Napoli, you see there, hitting .170, had a couple of hits and a walk last night. Did not start in game one.
Well, it's been a slow start for Mike Napoli. Came into the ball game last night hitting just .136, one extra base hit. found himself hitting a few balls hard.
Next ball 2, low. It's 2-1. Well, the Red Sox will see a lot of pitches, and Napoli leads the charge in that department.
And for the last couple of years, that really is his MO. Very selective.
That one disappeared on him.
Yet at the same time, when he does decide to turn it loose, he's got one swing. And you know, a lot of it too is that, you know, teams pitch him carefully. He does have tremendous power potential. You got to stay out, stay away from the middle of the plate. One of those guys, you know, there's a lot of guys like that in this lineup where you really have to execute your pitches and stay out of cripple counts and cripple pitches.
Full count. And last year he had, among other things, a dislocated finger. Did not get in a full season, 119 games, 17 home runs. There's Daniel Nava, who is on deck. Ground ball, shortstop. Runner's going to advance, and CABRERA throw to first in time. So that ball not sharply hit. Sandoval took advantage and advances.
Yeah, that was a good base running read there by Pablo Sandoval. As Asdrubal Cabrera coming in to field that ground ball, it's taking him towards first base. And like you said, it wasn't hit that hard, so there's absolutely no way a play could be made at third, and Sandoval able to recognize that early.
So man at third with one out for Boston, and the hitter is Daniel Nava. Nava has done most of his damage from the left side. 240 for the year with 5 runs batted in. The pitch is high. Nava in his career 1 of 8 against Odorizzi. That hit was a home run. On the foul ball. Well, you look at the numbers for Odorizzi. Lefty's hitting only 162. You think, wow, that's great. Right-handers coming into this game are hitting only 091 off him.
And you've got Betts, Pedroia, Napoli, so make that 3 for 36 now.
1-1 to count to Nava. The ball and 2 strikes. Nice cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. And look at the breakout here for Odorizzi. Opponents hitting only 129 off him to start play. Old friend Scott Kazmir's in the top 5 at 145.
How about that top 5? Trevor Bauer, Dallas Keuchel.
Pitch foul. Infield up here with Sandoval at third. 1 out and a 1-2 count on Nava. Rays started this at bat against Nava with the infield back. When the count went to 1-1, they pulled him in. Fly ball center field. Kiermaier trying to get a running start, makes the catch. Tagged by Sandoval. The throw hits Sandoval, kicks away, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead.
You know, from our vantage point, you saw Kevin Kiermaier setting himself up for this throw. And he had a great opportunity to try to get Sandoval, but as the throw came out of his hand, you could see it starting to fade just a little bit up the line. I mean, even if this play is able to be made by Rivera, probably not going to be able to get back to home plate and be able to get Sandoval. A little too much fade on the throw, and it took Rivera up the line just ever so slightly. And see if even if he one-hops it there to try to dive back and get Sandoval, not going to happen.
Well, that emphasizes how important heads-up base running, good sound baseball is with Sandoval moving to third, particularly against a fly ball pitcher like Odorizzi. So he advances to third to get there with one out on that ground ball and scores on the fly ball. Fastball by Craig, and the count is 0-2 on the Boston left fielder. So the leadoff double, heads up base running, and a fly ball with one out has given Boston an early lead. Nava picking up his 6th run batted in of the year. Popper right side foul. Dykstra is after it, and he's got it. Red Sox out in the second, a run home, and they lead 1-0 through an inning and a half. Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. 11 Longoria, who's looking for his first career home run off Buchholz, leads off the bottom of the second. Longoria 8 of 40 against him. And he has the one home run this year. Strike. Longoria, Jennings, and Dykstra due up. One. Buchholz has had 3 very interesting starts. He opened the season against the Phillies and threw 7 shutout innings with 9 strikeouts and only 1 walk. And the Red Sox started the year with a win over the Phillies. Next time out, he gave up 10 runs, 9 earned to the Yankees in 3 1/3. And then the last time lost to the Orioles 4-1, gave up 2 runs in that one on 11 hits in 6 innings.
Well, and this is what has been a concern for the Red Sox here in the early part of the season. You know, if you go back over the last 8 starts or last 8 games for this team, the starting pitchers, only one has managed to complete 6 innings. That was Clay Buchholz in his last start against Baltimore.
High fly ball back into left center field. Betts on the run, and it's going to be over his head. Will one hop the wall, a 2-base hit for Evan Longoria. Longoria got a little of that carry on that one away from Betts.
Well, Betts, see the fastball right here, and Evan able to reach out there and get some lift out there, but this ball up in the air an awful long time. And Betts just not able to get there. You see him over in right center field and just not able to get to that ball, and it's going to one hop over the wall.
So the Rays down by a run. Open the inning with a man in scoring position, and here's Desmond Jennings. Ground ball right side. Pedroia aggressively charging that and looked to third, but no play there as Longoria moves up on the chopper to second. So Jennings gets the man over. That'll be Alan Dykstra. The Red Sox are going to pull the infield up with Longoria at third. There's a strike. Red Sox showing some respect for Rays pitching and their starter tonight.
Oh, and Buchholz too, his ground ball fly ball ratio this year well over 2-1. So he's.
And Dykstra hit by the pitch. Set up mid at first and third.
Couldn't get out of the way of the cutter. And that cutter catches that back leg right off the quad. That's not going to feel good.
Brings up Logan Forsythe. Forsythe looks at a fastball for a strike. And a base hit lined into center to tie this game. Longoria will cross the plate, and it's a 1-1 contest. Logan Forsythe comes through.
Now the one thing with Clay Buchholz is over his career has shown a weakness. Runners on and runners in scoring position. He has really struggled. And Logan Forsythe just does a nice job of staying inside the baseball and using the middle of the field to tie this game up.
And here's Kevin Kiermaier. Pitch is inside. Buchholz 8 and 11 last year and 28 starts with a .534 earned run average. Kiermaier's ahead in the count. play 2-1.
The way that the Rays were able to finish that ball game last night, showing some signs of life with that offense. And off to another start here. Run bottom of the second, got a couple men aboard, a good count to work with.
The pitch is down. Checked by Kiermaier, and it's 3-1.
Now, if you're Kevin Kiermaier, you're thinking one pitch in one spot and go to work. If not, you let it go and either take your walk or think about the next pitch. But you have the advantage in your court right now. And I'll tell you what, he has shown the ability to create some backspin and hit with some power. Good count to do it.
Pulls it foul. Out in front of Rocco Baldelli. So the count is full now, 3-2.
And Buchholz continues to stay with that cutter. Likes that pitch to the left-handed hitter. And Kiermaier's seen a number of them.
Strike three call on that 3-2 pitch. Off speed, they got it in.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's a gutsy pitch by Clay Buchholz. All the cutters and then the changeup. You see it right there, coming off the fingers. The velocity down, it's right at the top of the zone, and it got him.
Yeah, it's a big pitch for him, especially coming off last year when the Red Sox were concerned about his lack of command with his off-speed pitches. Well, what a call right there, 3-2. And he gets Kiermaier looking. 2 gone. Now it's Rene Rivera. One ball, no strikes.
Yeah, you run the risk of you miss location with that pitch, and now all of a sudden you give the Rays a great chance for a big inning. Now you load the bases with just 1 out.
So in that way, a big roll of the dice by the Red Sox, and they came out on the winning side of that at bat. Cued the other way, foul. Buchholz had Rivera out in front. Took a shot at the outside corner with the fastball and missed. It's 2-2. Rays have tied the game here in the inning. Have 2 men on with 2 outs and a 2-2 count on Rene Rivera. Cut the miss. He went away. Cut that one away from him. So a couple big strikeouts here. Rays settle for the tying run, and at the end of 2, it's a 1-1 ball game.
Guest with me, we have the president of Florida Next Foundation, Ned Pope, and the president of the Tampa Bay Rays, Brian Auld, both to my right. Let's start with Ned. A big day coming up for you on May 5th. Tell us a little bit about Give Day Tampa Bay.
Sure. Give Day Tampa Bay is a 24-hour online day of giving. We've got over 500 nonprofits, almost 550 nonprofits in the 4-county region signed up for it. You can donate to any one of your choice. It's a partnership between the Florida Next Foundation and the Community Foundation of Tampa Bay.
And then, Brian, how are the Rays involved with this?
Well, we're a sponsor of the event. We obviously are proud to promote an event like this because it helps create a culture of giving in our community. And as you know, the Rays' mission is to energize our community through the magic of baseball, and this is one way we do that.
A lot of fans out there watching this game. It's 1-1 in the third here with Xander Bogaerts leading off against Jake Odorizzi. If they were interested in getting involved with Give Day Tampa Bay, how could they do that?
Certainly. The easiest way for them to get involved is to go to the website, givedaytampabay.org. You can make a pledge right now. There's a contribution button that will appear on May 5th, and you can make a donation to any one of the over 500 nonprofits that are participating. We hope you do that.
There you go, guys. We appreciate the time from Ned and Brian. Give Day Tampa Bay coming up on May 5th. Go to givedaytampabay.org for all that information. Back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. We're 4 pitches into the third with a 2-2 count on Bogaerts. Leon, the catcher, next, and then back around to Betts, the top of the order. Full count. This one lifted toward left center a bit, but Kiermaier's there at the edge of the track to make the catch.
You know, something to look for going forward. You know, early in the ball game, you're 1 out into the top of the third inning, but thus far, Jake Odorizzi, and I know that he likes to pitch up in the strike zone. That certainly is part of his game plan, but a lot of pitches up in the, and not up by design. Not driving the ball downhill like we've seen him in his first 3 starts. And you just go back to that split even to Sandoval that stayed up and out over the plate. Didn't have that finish. Right now, the arm not quite out in front where he would like it. Like, those are the pitches right there. Those first pitch fastball strikes. You've seen him time and time and time again in the early part of this season, just driving that to the kneecap right to the outside corner.
Leon, a switch hitting catcher, takes a strike there. And it's 1-1.
It's just one of those adjustments, and guess what? He realizes it too, and so you go mechanically try to make the adjustment to get back to downhill most of the time.
Ground ball back of first, cradle there by Dykstra. Odorizzi covers, and Leon is the second out. Follow the Rays all season in 2015 with the MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, within game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Mookie Betts, the center fielder, up here. Pitch is up again, a curveball up that time. So everything is up so far.
And you know, that happens from time to time. You're not going to be perfect every time that you go out there. It's just a matter of making adjustments. And right there, he comes with a cutter that's just a little bit up and away. And so sometimes you have to try to change up sequences, give different looks, do whatever you can to buy yourself some time until you can get it locked back in. That is the challenge and the beauty of being a starting pitcher.
And he is behind Betts, 3-0. And look at that. Everything, all 3 of them up. He's 4 for 10 in first pitch strikes, and that's the reason why. Too high, and he has walked Betts.
Well, and like I said, you know when Jake is going up by design and when he's just missing up. And right now he's just missing up. He's trying to throw that 3-0 pitch. You know, for a strike. Mookie Betts, since, you know, April 14th, is 5 out of 30 from the leadoff spot. So he's struggling. He's trying to throw a strike, and it's just middle of the plate up. So he just needs to change the sights a little bit.
Dustin Pedroia And there's a pitch that's a little bit wide. Odorizzi fell behind Pedroia 3-0 in the first inning and came back to get him. Went 3-2 and then got him on a cutter up on a swing and a miss. That's back in at first. And Pedroia, for a guy his size, will go get a pitch up.
Yeah, he's not afraid to turn it loose, and the home run in yesterday's ball game was on a pitch that was up around the letters. He wants to get extended. He wants to swing the bat with authority. And a good idea here by Jake Odorizzi, who's given up a couple of stolen bases in his 3 starts, with Betts over there on first base and 2 outs. Keep your eye on him. Getting an aggressive lead.
And a strike. 1.
That's in a great spot right there. Knee high, outside part of the plate.
Runner goes. Pretty good jump. Pitch up. And the throw. Safe the call. So Betts picks up his 5th stolen base.
Well, Jake tried to hold the ball before delivering it to the plate. Held it a little bit long. The ball was up, and that gave Rivera a chance. But you see that left hand, the tag, the left hand he kept on the bag until the left leg wraps around. And watch the hand scrape across the top of the bag. What ends up coming off the back end, and a lot going on that slide.
Ground ball, shortstop. Cabrera's got it, and the Red Sox are out in the 3rd. Walk, a steal, and a man left at second base. This ball game tied 1-1. Bottom of the 3rd coming. Bring your favorite 4-legged friend out to the ballpark Sunday, April 26th. Enjoy Dog Day at the Rays. Purchase a seat in the TBT party deck for you and your dog and get a Rays-themed dog item. Tickets limited. This event's sure to sell out, so get yours now. Visit RaysBaseball.com/special events. Top of the order for the Rays in the home half of the 3rd. Here's David DeJesus. Buckholz starts him with a curveball, and that's in there for a strike. Buckholz struck him out with a curveball looking in the 1st. gets ahead of him with that same pitch here in the third. The fastball is fouled back, and just like that, it's an 0-2 count. That's a foul ball.
How did he get the bat to that pitch? David DeJesus, you talk about staying alive. And an 0-2 count. Change up. Oh. That's called lengthening the swing. Wow.
Ball, 2 strikes to David. And again, a little foul ball off his foot. Rays got a leadoff double in the second from Longoria and turned that into a run. Fouled just outside of first. When you break down these teams and just look at the numbers through the first 2 weeks plus of the season, a lot of similarities with these two clubs right now. Red Sox are 9-6. The Rays are 7-8. But when you look at the pitching totals, team batting average, look at home runs.
The only difference is, and it's very close even when you look at the pitching staffs, even the innings thrown by the starters and on and on and on. The difference is Boston has their 5 starters, and they're just underperforming.
Yep.
And the Rays are trying to shuffle, start Steve Geltz for an inning or two and throw, start Matt Andriese after he's only thrown 2 innings in 2 weeks and can only give you 3 2/3 because he's so limited in pitch count. They don't have their full assortment yet. And that's been a real concern for the Red Sox. Started to get into that a little bit earlier. Talked about the last 8 games. They're averaging less than 5 innings a start.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It really is.
So Drew Smiley there. He's going to start tomorrow night to open that series against the Blue Jays. And all of that goes to the point that what the Rays have done. Sure, you're 7-8. You'd love to be 3 or 4 games over 500. But given the fact that they've had all of these people on the disabled list, and it seems daily continue to add another one, it's really gotten to the point where it's ridiculous. But 4 starters and your closer, and then as we mentioned last night, a couple of offensive players in Loney and the DH DEJESUS, and then still be, statistically speaking, right there with what the Red Sox have done, and the Red Sox in first place right now in the East. So the Rays have done what they had hoped to do to this point, and that is stay very relevant in the division. Ten pitches. And that's ball 4 low.
And to your point, let's we last year we did a lot of math. Let's do some more math. Right now the Rays have a 25-man roster out there. Okay, 25-man roster. Okay, and then you've got 12 on the disabled list. Add that up. That's 37. You're almost using your whole 40-man roster, and it's April the 20-something.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks into the season. You're going, really?
Right, right. I mean, you've used as many guys as sometimes you'll use in a season, including September, and you're not out of the month of April. Trying to stay afloat and patch it together. And if they are able to do that, and they've done it so far, look out.
And Steven Souza Jr. has settled in here in the last week to 10 days. DeJesus back in.
And by the way, speaking of David DeJesus on first base, how about that at bat? The 0-2 count, the 0-2 changeup that he fouled off, that was a few inches off the turf, off the dirt, and is able to work himself a walk.
Well, time called. And DeJesus with an 11-pitch at bat after getting down like that. And he draws the walk.
Now that can really be demoralizing for a pitcher when you have a guy that you have 0-2. He battles you for 11 pitches ultimately, and then you lose the battle.
Foul back. 2. A T-Mobile game changer, and lately it's been Steven Souza Jr. Last 8 games, 364 with all 4 of his home runs, 9 runs batted in, and 3 of his 4 stolen bases.
Just love what he's been able to do and what he brings to this Rays lineup as far as the way that he can change a game.
Upstairs, throw down to first. DeJesus is back in. We have 2 catchers here tonight, and Rivera and Leon not afraid to throw to any base at any time. 2 good arms on display.
Well, a lot of quick twitch going on in that exchange, from Buchholz to Leon to Napoli to the tag. 2 catchers, too, that aren't afraid and are big fans of the yellow nail polish. Very fashionable as we move from spring into summer.
That's important.
It is important.
You have to look good to play good.
Yep. Hey, listen, 100%. Now flash those signs. There you go.
Yeah, there you
little fluorescent action.
It's outside. 2-2. Well, the Red Sox had hoped that Christian Vasquez would be their, more or less, their everyday catcher. And he is a very talented young catcher with a great arm. And he wound up with a bad elbow and had to have surgery. Two popped up. It's coming straight back and will be out of play. So the Red Sox, as we've seen in the first couple games, have Ryan Hannigan to do the catching, and now Sandy Leon, they got him from Washington. And throughout his career, a little bit of big league time, a lot of minor league time, he's thrown out 40% of the base runners running against him trying to steal. Oh, that's on the corner, says James Hoy. Called third strike.
Did you see where Sandy Leon was calling for that pitch? He sat up away and then put the glove right on that spot, and Buchholz did not miss it. Watch him right here. Sets up, give me the ball right out here, right out here. Glove doesn't move.
Boy, that's one of those pitches that could go either way. Souza not happy with the call. And here's ASDRUBAL CABRERA. You get that call, and it's absolutely the perfect pitch. CABRERA. And he takes a breaking ball, curveball in there for a strike. We've seen a handful of those from Buchholz to get ahead.
Buchholz will give you different looks. Mixes his pitches very well.
DeJesus back in. Last year with Buchholz on the mound, 6 steals and 5 caught stealings. The count will go to 0-2. It's coming in to Cabrera, and he pulled it.
Well, the one thing that Clay Buchholz does with runners on base, he's worked slow. Works very slow, but when runners are on base, and this is something that the Baltimore Orioles had an issue with Buchholz in his last start, he throws the anchor out with runners on. Becomes very deliberate.
Stairs down to first again, and back in with that right hand on the bag. DeJesus safely back.
A lot of reindeer games with DeJesus down at first. Ball's up, easy for Leon. He's got the interference there from Cabrera in his way. There's the tag by Napoli right onto the hand. Perfect tag. It's just that DeJesus able to get the hand to the bag before that glove comes down on the fingers. A lot of those first basemen, too, on those snap tags, they really try to bring it down hard, too. Snap that hand, that wrist, the forearm.
It's low. 2-2. Cabrera 4 of 9 coming into this game with a couple home runs against Buchholz. 2-2 with him right now, and he's out on strikes. So a couple strikeouts after the leadoff walk. Last 4 outs recorded have come on strikeouts against Buchholz. There's Evan Longoria. You know, sometimes when a pitcher slows it down as much as he does, sometimes his own club has an issue with that.
Defensively, there's no question about it. You know, and a lot of times a defender is not going to talk poorly about his pitcher, but so often they do talk very highly of a pitcher that works quickly. They like to be in on the action and feel like there's a tempo and a rhythm. You're right. As much as you can get base runners to kind of sink into their heels, you can do the same thing to your defense.
Ground ball toward the middle, but Pedroia is there to make the pickup and throw. Leadoff walk, and the Rays leave a man. On to the 4th. We're tied 1-1.
about Jake Odorizzi working down in the zone. Notice where the target of Rene Rivera trying to go down and away. Now this was after the Rays brought the infield in looking for a ground ball with one out. Instead, Pablo Sandoval able to come home in a sacrifice fly. Then watch again. Rivera wants the ball down and away. This ball stays up. Bogaerts able to drill it, but Kiermaier able to make the play. Look for Jake Odorizzi to make the adjustment. Already did right there, going first pitch curveball. And as we noticed, some early in the ball game, hanging up there, staying up. That one, nice break right down to the bottom of the zone for strike one.
Yeah, and we've discussed before, sometimes a pitcher who's having difficulty getting the ball down can go to the breaking ball, which helps him. It's fouled out of play.
That's the one thing that Jake has, is he's got different weapons to be able to go to. What feels comfortable? What can I get the feel of first to buy myself some time? He's got a much better idea of what he's doing out there, more confidence in what he's doing out there. And thus far, he's been able to battle. Now that right there, a fastball up, but it was on purpose. You saw the target by Rivera. They wanted that up. That's the difference.
Foul the other way. It's out of play. Start that pitch away and maybe catch the corner. And Ortiz pretty good at not necessarily driving them, but swatting them. And for him, it appears to be driving. Some of those things wind up. 2-2 now. And the Rays know all about what he can do. Look at all those numbers all time against the Rays. Tops and extra base hits, runs batted in, and game-winning runs batted in. Cut and a miss. Came back to get him off speed.
And that was, listen, you'll take the result, but that was a split change. And then you're going to see it right there. He wants his pitch diving towards it. I'll take it.
Well, sometimes that's split because it's 84. There's a change, and you got two chances there if he's out in front. And that's what got him out of that spot. Sandoval takes a strike. But you're right, it's a scary pitch. When it's meant to dip and it doesn't.
Because you can recognize it. That's the thing. You know, a four seam, a changeup, a traditional changeup. If you've got great arm speed and the ball comes out and it's not in the spot that you want it, it still looks like a fastball, and that's what you're getting. They're swinging at your arm speed. Yeah. The split, when it comes out, it's tumbling, and you can pick it up. And if those stay up, typically that's not going to go very well for you. I mean, you can sell it with your arm speed, and that certainly does help, but it's an easier pitch to pick up. Jake got away with that one there, but like I said, sometimes you do that. You throw that backup slider or the curveball that doesn't break as much as you'd like, and you pick up the swing and a miss. Okay, that's an out. I'll move on. Makes up for the good pitch that I do make that you flip into right field as a little bloop.
Yep. You've always heard about that backup slider. I was going, if you could only perfect that. Well,
really.
Chop to first. A little short hop there, handled by Dykstra. Sandoval's out of there. 2 up and 2 down.
I love watching Jake battle out here tonight. Right there, he's able to get on top and out in front with that split, take it down to the ground, and get the kind of off the end of the bat ground ball contact that he's looking for. But this is signs of growth and maturity of a pitcher when you don't have your A stuff and you continue to get outs. And now you're an out away from getting out of the 4th inning. Boston has just 1 run on the board.
And here's Mike Napoli. Ball 1. Breaking pitch. 1-0. The Orioles are playing the Blue Jays in Toronto, and the Blue Jays have built a 6-0 lead. It's Tillman and Hutchinson. Donaldson with a home run. For Toronto, his 4th. Cut and a miss.
Is it me, or does the month of April feel like it's just one big American League East cage match?
Yeah, everybody's playing everybody. And a couple of days you go play somebody else, but it's inside the division for all these teams, and they're pretty well bunched.
You had the Rays, 25 of their first 28 games were going to be within the division. You know, the Red Sox just started a road trip where their next 7 series, well, after this one, 5 more, 22 straight games within the division. Baltimore's playing Toronto. I mean, it's just a free-for-all.
Cut and a miss. 3-1, a fastball, and Napoli missed it.
Everybody comes out 12-12, and then you start the season.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's going to be close to that. You look at this division, everybody play around break even and then get hot the last month.
That's right.
This one handled by Cabrera. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox through 3.5. 1-1 tie.
One-to-one, Desmond Jennings will lead things off for Tampa Bay. Speaking of Desmond, this Sunday, all kids 14 and under get this Desmond Jennings batting gloves. You get the right and the left. It says DJ with the number 8 right there. It's got a little Rays logo right there, a little Velcro strip, and Desmond's signature. That'll be this Sunday, Family Fun Day and Kids Sunday. The Rays will be taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Keep in mind, it's a 1:10 start this year on Sundays here at home, not 1:40. So don't stroll in at 1:30 expecting to see the first pitch. Go to www.raysbaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS, guys.
Desmond Jennings fouls it off the mask of the catcher. Sandy Leon will adjust that mask, and Jennings is up there with a 1-strike count.
Well, that was the one thing that I celebrated in the offseason when the schedule came out and the times were attached.
You liked them.
Oh, the 1:10 Sunday.
Yep.
That extra half hour always just like, you know, every game was in the top of the third by the time we would start. So that was that adjustment there was enough to high five myself.
But the cold started 30 minutes earlier.
That's right.
In theory. Two strikes now, the count to Desmond Jennings. And Buchholz takes care of him on 3 pitches. Finished him with the fastball. 6 strikeouts. 5 of the last 6 outs have been strikeouts. Here's Alan Dykstra. Dykstra hitting the quad. His first time up there. first fair, and Napoli takes care of that. So 4 pitches and 2 gone. Rays fans, it's Throwback Rays Thursday, brought to you by Jeep. Submit the best vintage photo of yourself by using the hashtag #ThrowbackRays. Best photo will be selected and featured in tonight's post-game show. Judges' selections are final.
It's done deal. Have to stick around and see who won.
1-0. The envelope is still sealed.
Did they seal that with like a hot wax, or is it more
so
of
they
a...
know if it's tampered with?
Smart.
2 balls, no strikes to Forsythe. Logan drove in the tying run with a single to center in the second inning. And he's ahead of Buckholz 3-0. Three and one now. Quick outs, and now a 3-1 count on the Rays' second baseman. And he draws the walk. So the Rays get a base runner with 2 outs. They'll get Kevin Kiermaier to the plate. Rays have Kiermaier back in the lineup, hiding out in the number 8 spot.
And hiding out is right, you know, because this is a guy that he comes to the plate, you never know what can happen. Show you some power. Always trying to create something coming out of the batter's box.
He runs up on the pitch, takes it for a ball. 1-0.
Fakes a bunt attempt. You just never know.
Yep. Oh. He likes the moniker, the outlaw, and every outlaw has to have a hideout, and for him it's the 8th spot in the order. Up in the count, a ball, no strikes. One and one. Kiermaier was under the weather for a little bit. Better now and back in there. He does add such a dimension to this lineup. There's an aggressiveness to his play and speed and occasional power.
It's something that he really didn't show while playing in the minor leagues. We saw a glimpse of it last year when he came to the big leagues. And even more of it this year. Had that big blast to center field. One to right.
Now it's 2-1.
And that was center field here. And you got to get it out of center field at Tropicana Field. You've hit it well.
I think it's Kevin Gausman who gets it up there in a hurry. Two and two. Red Sox got a single run in the second. The Rays got their marker in the second inning. Two-out walk has put Forsythe aboard. 2-2 here on Kiermaier, and Leone heads to the mound. Well, Buchholz will be 31 in August. And at the pace he's pitching right now, he might be 31 before this game is over. 2-2. Back of the dugout, foul. He really slowed it down with that leadoff walk in the third to DeJesus. Mesmerized the next three hitters, struck them all out, taking his time. Now a 2-out walk to Forsythe, and again Buchholz slows the pace. Buchholz just missed there. Trying to get that one to come back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that he did miss. that pitch looked pretty good. Right to the corner, inside, borderline.
3-2. And he's out on strikes. Well, he came back with a 3-2 breaking ball. We go to the fifth, tied 1-1. Toyota, let's go places. By Grow Financial. Don't go through life, grow through life with Grow Financial Federal Credit Union. And by Bank United. Bank United offers a variety of checking, savings, and money market accounts. Visit any Tampa location to open your account today. Jacob Rizzi set to open the fifth inning. He made 11 pitches in the first, 17 in the second, 17 in the third, 17 in the fourth. And his first pitch here in the fifth inning is a strike call to Daniel Nava. Nava has the run batted in. That came on a sac fly in the second inning. Fell back. Well, the Blue Jays have added another run in the fifth. Josh Donaldson, who had homered earlier, opened that inning with a double and has scored. So it's 7-0 Toronto as they hit in the bottom of the fifth against the Orioles. We'll see the Blue Jays tomorrow night when Drew Smiley opposes R.A. Dickey. 1-2 the count on Nava. 7:10 first pitch tomorrow. We'll be with you at 6:30, 6:10 on Saturday, 1:10 on Sunday. There's Drew Smiley. That takes care of Nava. And a nice pitch right there.
Jake Odorizzi is going to come with that right there. You see the split fingers, and then how about that? He's out in front. Yeah, that's that depth that it's been intermittent here tonight. That was a great pitch.
Third strikeout for Jake. Here's Alan Craig. Fly ball not too deep to center, and Kiermaier is there. A couple of quick outs in the fifth.
Shortstop, Xander Bogaerts.
Xander Bogaerts with the fly ball to center. So he's 0 for 1. Bogaerts just 22 years old. He wound up hitting .240 last year. The pitch is a strike. To the right side, a 2-out base hit. Rays had Forsythe up the middle and a couple steps to the shortstop side of the bag. Bogaerts used the vacant right side of the infield.
Well, you see the defensive setup, and look at Bogaerts just go out there and poke that ball to the right side. Easy base hit for Xander.
Second hit allowed by Odorizzi. The other one was the leadoff double to Sandoval, who moved to third on a ground ball, scored on a fly ball. And here's Sandy Leon. It's foul. Well, the Rays already have the book on Leon, and they've got a big shift on for this guy.
Yeah, small sample size, and here you go.
Close, but that pitch is a ball. It's 1-1. A bit wide with the fastball, and it's a 2-1 count. And now, after two quick outs and that opposite field base hit, Odorizzi has fallen behind 3-1 to the number 9 hitter. Mookie Betts on deck. Foul ball to take the count full. And there's ball 4. With 2 outs, now 2 base runners for the top of the order. Get your stripes Saturday, the 25th middle game of the series against the Blue Jays. The Rays take on Toronto, and all fans take home a Chris Archer bobblehead presented by Dex Imaging while supplies last. For tickets, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com today. Rays up. Jim Hickey out there, another little conversation with Odorizzi. They've been chatting between innings in the dugout as Jake's tried to find exactly where he wants to be out there.
And this is why an outing like this, and you're hoping that Jake can make pitches here, and something that he's been able to do all night is so impressive, because it's easy to go out there and dominate when everything's clicking. The fastball you can put wherever you want it. The breaking ball's good. The cutter's cutting late. Good changeup. That's great. But when you can go out and keep your team in a game and get deeper into a game when you don't have your good stuff, that's sometimes even more impressive.
Betts sends a fly ball to center. Kiermaier, a late start, and he got there. Kiermaier got a late start and recovered, and it took all he had to get there. Stretched out on the turf. He made the catch and hung on. And that retires Boston. We're still tied 1-1.
Only because of the play by Kevin Kiermaier. Watch the quick reaction and then change of direction. You know, he started to go back on the swing by Mookie Betts and made a very quick adjustment as that ball was off the end of the bat, and he needed all of that closing speed. And how about that, holding on to that ball right near the heel of the glove. Sometimes that's where it can pop out.
Now Rivera lifts one toward right center. Betts is on the run and makes the catch. So on the first pitch, Rene Rivera lofts a fly ball out there, one away. Yeah, good to have that closing speed. You could see just a couple of steps in the other direction and then tremendous recovery to get there.
Well, that's what the challenge is of the outfielder. A lot of times that, you know, you're trying to get a good jump, and that first initial break is, you know, the trajectory of the ball and the swing. And if it's not on the barrel, you find yourself very quickly, and Kiermaier is able to make that adjustment, scramble back, and make a great play.
A strike to David DeJesus on the corner. One and one right now. DeJesus got behind 0-2 in the third, and then eventually worked an 11-pitch at bat for a walk. He's down in the count now, 1-2.
That's okay. He was 0-2 last time before that happened.
So he's ahead of the game.
Yeah, he's already one pitch closer to 11. Well, that ability and to hit with 2 strikes, to battle with 2, no fear.
Bouncer, first base, handled by Napoli. 2 outs. 2 up, 2 down against Clay Buchholz. Buchholz has that gamer cap out there.
This is only his 4th start, too, and it's already taken a savage beating.
Yeah. Steven Souza Jr. 0 for 2. And he takes a strike. He was not happy when he was called out on strikes in the 3rd, and he's not very pleased with strike 1 this time around.
Well, it's a changeup. It's at the bottom of the zone. Fox Tracks has it as a strike, and you just don't want to do anything to start to turn James Hoy against you.
And there's a strike. Boy.
The last 3 pitches, you don't have to be happy with the call, but the calls are good. I mean, they're right there. It's just perfect pitches. And by the way, that one being as borderline as the 3, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt if.
Yeah.
Now, he rings him up on that, and then you do whatever you want to do. You go empty the bat rack. That's fine.
Well, how about this for Souza? First time up, he was victimized by the good play by Sandoval. Then 2-2 and a very close call. He's called out on strikes. First 2 pitches here on the edges. 2-2. Breaking pitch just kept going and going. So the count is even now. And a foul tip strikeout. Frustrating evening for Souza. 1, 2, 3, go the Rays. We head to the 6th, tied at 1. Pitching matchup of Jake Odorizzi and Clay Buchholz. Odorizzi limiting Boston to just 2 hits and a run through 5, and still really looking for his best stuff.
And that's what makes that line so impressive. It really does. And Clay Buchholz, on the other hand, same thing. 5 innings, 2 hits, a run, 8 strikeouts. And he's been very good, too. It's kind of what we thought coming in, the way that these 2 pitchers have thrown the ball against each other.
Well, Pedroia lifts a fly ball to center, and that's caught by Kiermaier. Well, and a bit more routine than the last one he caught out there to end the 5th.
You know, if you go back, you take these guys' last 5 starts, 3 for Buchholz, 2 for Odorizzi. 2 for Odorizzi against the Red Sox in this building, 3 for Buchholz against the Rays, obviously, in this building. They've given up 1 earned run in 34 innings. So, there you go.
So as we previewed in the open, that's pretty much held true. And here's David Ortiz. Takes a big rip at the fastball, fouling it back, strike 1. Ortiz hit into the shift and grounded out Forsythe to Dykstra in the 1st. Struck out on a change that split, got him swinging in the 4th. One and one. High fly ball to center. Kiermaier makes the catch. 2 gone. Saturday MLB returns, starting with an AL Central battle. The Indians take on the Tigers in a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the return of the Subway Series. The Yankees battle the Mets. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on America's home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Sandoval, 1 out of 2, fouling it back, strike 1. Kiermaier has been busy lately. The last 4 outs for the Red Sox have been on fly balls to center, and this one's to left. Jennings makes the catch. 1, 2, 3. Bottom of inning 6 coming. 1-1 ball game. Remember, Rays fans, it's Throwback Rays Thursday, brought to you by Jeep. Submit the best vintage photo of yourself using hashtag Throwback Rays. It'll be selected. The best photo will be selected and featured in tonight's post-game show. Three, 4, and 5 for the Rays in the 6th, beginning with ASDRUBAL Cabrera. Pitch is low.
This is the part of the lineup that got it going last night for the Rays in the 6th inning. It'd be nice for a repeat.
Two and 0.
And this has been the inning that has given Boston Red Sox starting pitchers fits.
Yeah, they have not gotten deep into games, this Boston rotation. 85 pitches for Buchholz right now. This one is fouled back.
You know, they're averaging just over 5 1/3 innings to start. Their Boston relievers have thrown the 2nd most innings in Major League Baseball, and the Boston starters have the worst ERA in Major League Baseball at 5.71 collectively.
Cabrera behind the fastball, and it's 2-2. Eight strikeouts for Buchholz. We had 19 strikeouts in 16 1/3 innings coming into this one. Now we have a full count. He had walked only 4. Walked 2 in this game. And there is ball 4 to Cabrera. The Rays put the leadoff man on base for the 3rd time in 6 innings. Longoria is headed to the plate, and we're headed to Todd Callis. Todd?
Well, Dwayne, you talk about Clay Buchholz with runners on base, how he really slows the game down. You can look at so far, early sample size in 2015. A couple of former Rays lead the major leagues in time between pitches. Jeremy Hellickson and David Price. Clay Buchholz 3rd on that list, guys.
Well, with men on base, he takes a lot of time out there. Moved to first here. Having doubled to open the 2nd inning and has scored the only run for the Rays. Strike one. A couple pitchers up in the bullpen now for Boston here in the 6th inning. Robbie Ross Jr., the left-hander. Ogando, the big right-hander.
They may not have even been called. You know, there may not have called down there to get him up.
Force of habit.
Yeah, 6th inning. This is when we get up. They may get a call to sit back down.
That one is wide. 1-1. Well, he's at 91 pitches right now. He threw 102 his last time out when he gave up 2 runs, 11 hits to the Orioles in 6 innings. And 2. Each team with a run, 2 hits. Coach goes away with the pitch off the plate. 2-2. the right field line. That ball might be fair. Oh, it's a foul ball by a couple feet. Well, that would have been interesting. But fouled, and the count is still 2-2.
If you mean by a double, runners on second, on third, interesting.
Yes.
I'm with you. How about this little flare into no man's land? Ends up just a couple of feet foul.
So back to the plate with this 2-2 count. And there's strike 3 call on the outside corner. But Buchholz has made good use of that area of the strike zone tonight. A little something extra on the fastball and perfectly located.
I'll tell you, he has made some big pitches in some big spots, and a leadoff walk. You got your cleanup hitter in a 2-2 count, and he's able to dial up a fastball right on the edge.
Well, you look at that pitch and the pitch he made on Souza back in the 5th. He's made some great pitches, and now he almost just lobbed that one and skipped it by Napoli. Had to leave the bag. Well, here's Desmond Jennings, 0 for 2 tonight, still looking for his first extra base hit of the year. The Rays would really love to get him started. He's 54 at bats into the season. One ball, no strikes. Game has been tied since the bottom of the 2nd inning. We're in the bottom of the 6th at the moment. Two and 0.
Well, maybe this will help. You get a 2-0 count. Tie ball game, runner on first base. Pitcher probably nearing the end of his outing. This is the time for Desmond Jennings to dial it up and swing that bat like he means it.
He's up in the count, 2-0. Ground ball toward the hole. Bogaerts goes to second, out there and not in time at first. Cabrera forced. Jennings reaches on a fielder's choice. And Alan Dykstra will be the hitter.
Bogaerts to his right. Going to throw back over to Pedroia. Just everything taking a little bit too long because of where the ball was hit. So no double play, and maybe an opportunity here for Desmond Jennings to test his catcher, Sandy Leone.
Well, Dykstra has been hit by a pitch and is grounded out to first. Dykstra takes the fastball, gets behind in the count, 1 strike. Coates about to make pitch number 100 on the night. And here it is. 1-1. Couple of 20-plus pitch innings. 12 pitch first tonight. And 1-1 on Alan Dykstra. Puts Dykstra down in the count. Out in front, it's 1-2.
Well, Dykstra going after that changeup, thinking fastball. Buchholz trying to stay out of Dykstra's wheelhouse, staying away from him, keeping it low in the zone.
Took a shot on that corner in. Just missed. 2-2. Dykstra taking a pitch very close. Foul ball will keep the at bat alive. Dykstra with a home run during his stay with the Rays. That came in the New York series against Adam Warren, when he hit it right down the right field line and hit the pole, the screening attached to the foul pole. Again, the 2-2. And he's out on strikes. That's 10 for Buchholz, and we go to the 7th tied. Completing 6 innings with 104 pitches. It appears to be finished for the evening. This game tied 1-1. 10 strikeouts for Buchholz. And Jake Odorizzi back out to the hill to work the 7th. Jake, in 82 pitches, has given up a run on 2 hits through 6 innings, couple walks and 3 strikeouts. He'll open the 7th facing Mike Napoli. Napoli, Nava, and Craig due up in the inning. Twice Napoli is grounded out to Cabrera, the Rays shortstop. And lifts the fly ball into left for Desmond Jennings. And that is the first out. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live. The pregame show is presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Drew Smiley, the Rays lefty, will make his 2015 debut. Orestes breaks down the red-hot rookies, Steven Souza Jr. and Devon Travis of the Blue Jays. Both impressive young players. Here's Daniel Nava. Pitch is a strike. Odorizzi had a stretch of 4 consecutive outs going to center. Now the last 2 have been on fly balls to left. Back into the screen. 0-2.
And this night has not been easy for Jake Odorizzi, but you would not know it from the way he's handled himself on the mound, from his line, from his pitch count. He's managed to keep everything together and keep his team in the game. Very impressive.
So Brandon Gomes up in the Rays bullpen. Ogando's back up for Boston. The 0-2 and a fly ball skied to center. Kiermaier has that one. 2 outs in the 7th.
And he's really starting to live up to his billing as a fly ball pitcher.
Yeah, he had 2 outs on fly balls through the first 4 innings. And now through the last 2 2/3, that's 7 fly ball outs. Alan Craig, the pitch is up. 1 ball, no strikes. Liner into left. That's going to be a base hit. So the 1-0 pitch. And Craig has his first hit of the night. Hit number 3 surrendered by Odorizzi. And the next hitter up, Xander Bogaerts, has 1 of those hits. When he hit a ground ball through the vacant right side of the infield, that was in the 5th. Breaking pitch too high, taken for a ball. And that's ball 2.
Imagine that Xander Bogaerts in this situation is going to be very eager to swing the bat. We saw him in his last time up take advantage of that big hole there on the right side and poke one through out into right field. And Ray's practically daring him to do it again.
And now ball 3. Change the count to 3-0.
Now, and in a game that's featured few opportunities to score for both teams, you don't want to hand them one here with a walk. Going to run around into scoring position. At the same time, if Odorizzi's going for that strike on the outside corner, and Bogaerts has that wide open hole on the right side.
That's a strike. 3-1. Yeah, so much better to work ahead in the count than behind, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because you're missing off the plate. Now you got to come on to the plate to a hitter that can really zone in, shrink things.
And that's ball 4. So with 2 outs, a base hit and a walk, Craig pushed up to second. Bogaerts at first. Kevin Cash out of the dugout and heads to the mound with Gomes down in the bullpen. So that's going to be it for Jake Odorizzi tonight. 6 2/3. As the Rays go to the bullpen, let's go to Emily.
Thanks, Wayne. Another solid night from Odorizzi. But with so many Rays starters on the disabled list early this season, Kevin Cash has had to call upon the bullpen much earlier and sooner in games. So that has put a lot of pressure on the bullpen. He said that the relievers have responded tremendous and said that they're very much bought in. The bullpen hasn't allowed a run in the last 10.1 innings pitched, with only 4 hits allowed in that span. Dwayne, back to you.
Well, the bullpen was so good yesterday. Wrapping up, turned out to be a 7-5 Rays win. And here's Brandon Gomes. Leon due, but Hanley Ramirez will be the pinch hitter for the Boston catcher. So with 2 outs, the Red Sox have put 2 men aboard. And that first pitch, close. Ramirez did not offer. 1 ball, no strikes.
It was the right call. The split by Gomes.
Ramirez was on twice last night with a walk and a single. Had 2 hits in the game Tuesday. It's outside 2-0. These two have faced each other on one other occasion. Ramirez 0 for 1 in his career against Brandon Gomes. Just missed to fall behind 3-0.
Well, you got to be careful here because you know Ramirez is going to have the green light. Gomes trying to catch that outside corner. Close.
That's a strike. 3-1.
Tough pitch here by Brandon Gomes. 3-0. You know Ramirez may be turning it loose, and he's able to spot up a fastball, catch that edge, and try and do it again.
Three-one pitch. Big cut and a miss.
Well, and now what? You know, the 3-0 fastball perfectly placed. Ramirez expecting another. He's going to get the 3-0. Sorry about it. The split way out in front. Helmet off. Nothing new there. So now you got to wonder, what's he going to come with? I'll come right back with that pitch.
Split.
Amen.
Back now to 3-2 after falling behind 3-0. And strike 3 called. He got him to take it. A little cut the slider action to that one. And that will retire the Red Sox in the top of the 7th inning. Boy, what a job by Gomes after falling behind. There's the strikeout pitch. We're tied 1-1. of the 7th inning. Here's tonight's great moment in Rays history, brought to you by Geico. June 15, 2005, and Kevin Cash homers in his first plate appearance as a double ray off Victor Santos of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Might I add, a fresh-faced Kevin Cash.
First plate appearance, Rays all-time list of those who hit home runs under those circumstances. So Terry Shumpert was one of those guys. And as it turns out, he is the uncle of Mookie Betts, we recently learned. 1-0 the count now is Alexi Ogando in the game. 2-0 fastball taken by Logan Forsythe. Ryan Hannigan on to catch after Leone was lifted for the pinch hitter. Two and one. Forsythe drove in the run for the Rays back in the 2nd inning. And is ahead in the count, 3-1. He has singled and walked tonight. And ahead of Ogando right now. Takes the count full. Kevin Jepson is up in the Rays bullpen. Ground ball to short. Starts throw on the money. One out in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, this Boston bullpen, they have been worked very, very hard. We talked about second most innings in Major League Baseball, but in the American League, they are 4th in ERA. So thus far, they've been able to throw the ball very well. We know what the Rays bullpen did in preserving the win last night, and that's what we're down to here. Tie ball game, bottom of the 7th, battle of the bullpens.
Kevin Kiermaier against Ogando. Sandoval close at third. A full cut by Kiermaier, and he fouls it away. Buchholz tonight worked 6 innings. Gave up a run on 2 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 10. Made 104 pitches. Odorizzi 93 pitches on the evening. 6 2/3 of 1-run, 3-hit baseball. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. 1-1.
Well, it was as advertised. It's what we thought coming in. Had a chance for a pitcher's duel.
Well, we've had 5 hits in this game. 3 of those came in the 2nd inning when the Red Sox scored a run and the Rays scored a run. Pedroia. 2 gone. Base is empty. Rene Rivera walks to the plate and will toss it to Todd Calvis. Todd?
Dwayne, a little more than an hour south of us. James Loney had a chance to play in a minor league game today for the Charlotte Stone Crabs, and James went 1 for 4 as a designated hitter with a double to left. Also flied out, grounded out, and struck out. Should be back with the Rays sometime this weekend. Not exactly a perfect landing spot for him with a knuckleballer and 2 lefties, but the Rays will be happy to see number 21 back in the lineup, guys.
Yes, they will. There's Rene Rivera. The Rays miss his steady bat and his outstanding defensive work, so they'll be happy to have him back. It's upstairs and it's 1-1.
Yeah, and the key to that whole steady bat That's exactly the way that you would describe him. And although not ideal, with the lefties, listen, he will tune up a lefty just as much as he'll tune up a righty. Great approach at the plate, good plate discipline, ability to use the whole field, all the things that we've raved about for James Loney over the past 2 seasons. And it'll be nice just to have someone come off the disabled list.
Yes.
Because I don't think that's happened yet.
Yes.
Keep adding to that list. We did the math before.
Yeah.
Right.
That's ball 3. 3-1. Game has been tied 1-1 since the 2nd inning. And Rivera draws a walk. Drew Smiley will come off the disabled list tomorrow after going 3-1 with a 170 in 7 starts with the Rays last year. He'll open that series against the Blue Jays. We'll be with you at 6:30 with our pregame coverage. It'll be Drew Smiley against R.A. Dickey. And Drew can't wait to get back.
He's like the left-handed version of Jake Odorizzi. He's another pitcher that is going to force his opponent to have to cover the entire strike zone.
DeJesus lifts a high fly, not too deep to left. Alan Craig grabs it. We're through 7. 1 apiece. The game going right down to the wire here. Our game summary brought to you by Gold and Diamond Swords. Jake Odorizzi and Clay Buchholz matched up. Odorizzi 6 2/3 of 1-run, 3-hit baseball, and Buchholz 6 innings of 1-run, 2-hit baseball. Game now in the hands of the 2 bullpens. A 1-1 tie as we go to the 8th. Kevin Jepson will become the 3rd Rays pitcher. 8th appearance for Jepson. And he faces the top of the order, Mookie Betts. And the pitch is foul right back. Strike 1.
I caught James Hoy right in the mask. And he's set a little bit off center of Rene Rivera. And that foul tip. There it is.
You take a shot like that, you're hoping that you can take the mask off.
Suction right to your face.
Wow. 1-1 to count to Betts. We mentioned when we saw Terry Shumpert's name on that list of Rays who did home runs in their first plate appearance. Shumpert was here in 2003. Betts becoming familiar with the major league experience through his uncle. High fly ball driven deep into left center field. Kiermaier is there, a couple steps from the wall, and he makes the catch. That one back to the track. Pretty good ride by Betts.
Well, it sure was, but from the Rays' point of view, if you're going to give up a deep fly ball, that's the place to give it. Out in center field, 404, and then you've got that little angle back portion, and that's where Betts is trying to make a bid and not quite enough. Kevin Jepson saying that's one out.
Now he faces Dustin Pedroia. Strike on the outside corner. The Bird shortstop up and out with the throw. 2 gone. So the base is empty and 2 outs in the 8th and a tie game at 1. We have the GMC big matchup. David Ortiz and Kevin Jepson. Ortiz 4 of 10 with a double and a couple strikeouts. That includes postseason matchups. Jepson, who pitched the 8th inning last night, and here in the 8th inning tonight. And it's a strike in the knees, that hard curveball.
Right at the bottom of the zone. What a pitch to start this AB off with.
Right back with one even better.
That's not. If he hits that, it's a double.
Oh my
gosh. Good God, how do you miss that?
There was no question that was a strike. No question.
Well, get him with
the
4
swing
then.
on that one. If that other one, how about that?
How does it even have to be asked for?
I have
I'm
no
telling
idea.
You, he makes contact with that pitch, and it's in the gap or a fly ball deep.
I mean, you missed that call in the 8th inning of a 1-1 game.
We have video proof.
And I think you're right, even asking for it. I mean, really? One and 2. Ortiz getting time from James Hoy. Jepson calling for Rivera.
Asking him right now, listen, this is big pitch, big spot, big power. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Although that's why you do have signs.
Well, ball loose from the bullpen. All the way down from the Boston bullpen. Tazawa's throwing down there. Well, here's the deal. You think it's tough to get 4 outs in an inning? Try to get 4 strikes on this guy. Two and 2. Here's Tazawa. And now the count is full. Stayed with that hard curveball. Sandoval is on deck. And a tapper down the right side, foul. 2 outs. Full count on Ortiz. Check swing and a hopper. Jensen scrambles and throws, and he gets away from Dykstra, backed up there by the second baseman Forsythe.
Well, the rhythm in that, the timing of that play. As soon as Kevin Jepsen was not able to come up with it clean, he's got a bare hand stab it and then throw without being able to step into the throw. Right here, this ball drops. Now he's going to rush. Kind of flings it over there, and Dykstra off the glove. Let's see how far away. He's got to stretch.
So Ortiz reaches on the error. They post the error to Dykstra, and that's a borderline call. And so Sandoval bats here in the 8th with a man at first and 2 outs. Chopper by the mound. Cabrera with the throw to first. And so Sandoval is out of there. Steven Souza Jr., Asdrubal Cabrera, and Evan Longoria doing the bottom of the 8th. You'll love what we do for you. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Checkers. Get Checkers Authentic Philly cheesesteak or try the new meatball sub. Pick yours, 2 for $5. Well, the Rays get through the top of the 8th. Kevin Jepsen actually had to get 5 outs in that inning. They leave a runner at first, and Shinichi Tozawa is the new pitcher for Boston, facing Steven Souza Jr. First pitch foul, out of play. You factor the error, and then the missed call on that check swing. So he had to get Ortiz out twice, and he reached on the error. So 5 outs in that inning. Nice job by Jepsen.
He was really good.
So did you get an inning and 2/3 for that, or just 1 inning? Ground ball to short. And a throw to first in time to get Souza Jr. 1 away.
Well, Kevin Cash was saying about last night's outing between Boxberger and Jepsen so early in the season, didn't feel the need to stretch him out. Well, got him stretched out here tonight.
Yeah.
And he was very good. Tough part of the lineup. Got a tie ball game late. There's Brad Boxberger.
Asdrubal Cabrera prepares to step in against Tozawa. Cabrera walked his last time. 0-1. Strike. Tozawa pitched an inning in the game here Tuesday. Retired DeJesus, Geyer, and Souza. 1 out here with Cabrera holding a count of 1-1. 2-1. A run, 3 hits for Boston. A run, 2 hits for the Rays. The Rays have drawn 4 walks. 2-2 on Cabrera.
That's got to be so frustrating for a hitter. You know, you're in a good count there at 2-1, and Tozawa dials you up a fastball, but puts it in a spot where it just ties you up in your swing. And he actually wants this away, but ends up and in, and you can see Cabrera trying to get the barrel to that pitch. Not quite able to do it.
Here's a line drive, base hit into right, and the Rays have a base runner.
A really nice job of 2-strike hitting. That was Tozawa's split finger, and Cabrera is able to go out and get around that pitch and find a hole. Get him get out there, get the barrel around it, and flip that ball in the hole out into right field.
Yeah, you're right, because that wasn't that bad a pitch. Pretty good pitch away. It was on the move down.
And you could see how far he had Cabrera out in front. But he kept the bat in the zone a long time. Able to get around it, get a base runner.
And there's Longoria. Having 1 for 3 tonight with a 2nd inning double and a run scored. Pitch is in there for a strike. Upstairs, the fastball approaching the mid-90s. Having 1 of 11 against Tazawa in his career. Up the right side, that's going to carry out to Nava, who makes the catch. 2 gone. So Cabrera is still at first for Desmond Jennings. And Jennings, like Longoria before him, 1 of 11 in his career off Tazawa. Too much time. Jennings asking for time, stepping back. Missed the fastball. Strike 1. Angels have beaten Oakland 2-0. The only hit for the Angels was a 2-run home run by Cole Calhoun. 2-0 the final. Jennings takes one just off the plate. 1-1. That was close.
Well, we've seen this called a strike more times than not tonight. This time the call goes Desmond's way. This is the swing count here. This is where Tazawa really wants to make a quality pitch, get it out or get to 1 and 2.
High popper, short left. Bogaerts calling for it in front of the left fielder, Craig. The Rays get a hit, leave a man, do not score. We go to the 9th, tied at 1. On Sun Sports is brought to you by Paul Blart. Mall Cop 2, starring Kevin James, in theaters now. By Kubota. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. There's the Trop. Rays and the Red Sox go to the 9th inning. Brad Boxberger, who pitched the 7th last night, turned out to get a win, is on to pitch the 9th inning tonight in this tie game.
Well, once again with the big strikeout numbers, 11 of them in 6 1/3. And the more that we've seen of Brad Boxberger here in the early part of the season, the more that he's looked like the guy from last year. You think about what he did in last night's game after the Rays tie it up. He comes in top of the 7th, and all he does is strike out the side.
Mike Napoli takes the first pitch for a strike. Napoli nothing of 3. Nava to follow, and then Craig due up. Strike on the corner, and Napoli's not happy. Anthony Vivaro throwing in the bullpen. We saw him last night. The Blue Jays survived the Orioles. Blue Jays at one point led 7-0 in that game. Orioles scored 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and 4 in the 9th. And the Blue Jays win that 7-6. Fly ball right field. Souza back just to the edge of the turf in front of the track. One gone. Hutchison gets the win. Tillman the loss. Machado hit a couple home runs for the Orioles. He has 3 on the year. Donaldson hit one, number 4 for the Blue Jays.
And I think it was Donaldson's. Hutchison had a perfect game going into the 6th inning.
Yeah. He did.
That's what my phone said. Somebody broke it up with a blast.
Yeah. Machado.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Machado broke it up. Change up in there for a strike to Nava.
It's been acting a little funny lately, so maybe I got wrong info, but that's what it said on the screen.
Yeah. Just wrong team. It's foul back. 0-2. Well, the Orioles fall a run short with 4 in the 9th. Uehara now throwing. Two strikes here to Nava. Blue Jays in town tomorrow night. They open a 3-game series. They're now 9-7. The Orioles 7-9. And it's 1-2. Nava's out on strikes. Goes the change up. 2 outs here.
Look at that grip. Boxberger, this ball out of his hand, never on the plate and fading quickly. But that's what you can get a hitter to do when you're up 1-2 in the count.
Alan Craig, who singled in the 7th inning, bats with the bases empty and 2 outs in the 9th. Pitch is a strike. One ball, one strike. Two. Right around the knees. 1 and 2. Popped it up right side. Forsythe after it. We're headed into the bottom of the ninth. Rays will have Dykstra due, Forsythe and Kiermaier tied 1-1. For the ninth, still 1-1. And coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers. Todd and the Rushes will anchor all the coverage. Kevin Cass will be present for his press conference. And Emily Austin featuring interviews from the clubhouse. Anthony Rivaro, the new pitcher. Alan Dykstra will be the first man to face him. 7th appearance for Bavaro after pitching an inning and a third in last night's game. Strike on the inside corner. Through the right side. Dykstra is aboard. Now the Rays put the leadoff man on.
Well, great start here. A change up. And look at Dykstra. You know, tall, got the long arms, and he's able to get out there and spank that ball out into right field.
Tim Beckham will run for him. So there's a start for the Rays in the bottom of the ninth. Logan Forsythe will be the hitter with Beckham the pinch runner.
Now what do the Rays do? Is Forsythe going to swing away? Is he going to bunt? Let's wonder what the Red Sox are going to do defensively. Sandoval way in at third base.
Move to first.
You know, a lot of times that move, you know, you're thrown over there to Beckham, but you're trying to see if Logan Forsythe is tipping anything off at the plate. See if he's starting to square around, if you can get a read on what the Rays are thinking.
It's too low. Kiermaier on deck. Bobby Ross Jr. down in the bullpen. Steve Geltz up in the Rays bullpen. One and one. There's Geltz up the right field line in the bullpen. Popper into short right. Nava makes the catch. Lightning win in overtime. They scored 2 late goals to send it into overtime, 2-2. And they win it in overtime, 3-2.
How about that? Hadn't scored in 5.5 periods in Detroit. Too late. When everybody gets to see the game winner, the pass.
It was sweet.
The one-timer. Boom.
Series even, 2-2. Tyler Johnson, 2 goals, including the winner. Moved to first. That comes back in again.
I still don't see how the pass got to him. Wait till the last second, flip it. Anyway, back to the Rays. Very exciting, though.
Good news from the Lightning.
Right. Well, good. The Rays can walk it off, too. 2 walk-offs.
Kevin Kiermaier in the batter's box. That's a strike around the knees.
Right down the heart of the plate.
Now 1-1. Well, the game here Tuesday was a 1-0 final Boston. Rays came back to win last night 7-5. Tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 9th, 1 on, 1 out right now. Foul out of play the other way. 1-2. Buchholz worked 6, gave up a run. Oquendo 1 inning, Tazawa 1 inning, and now Bavaro. Odorizzi 6 2/3 of 1-run baseball for the Rays. Gomes, Jepson, and Boxberger have followed.
Going for that change-up away.
It's fouled back. Out of play.
Kind of push that up there. Navarro coming with the change-up, but pushed it up there and stayed elevated. Kiermaier, pretty good swing at it, fouls it off. You can see him shaking his head too, not happy with the execution on that pitch. It's fastball, curveball, changeup for Navarro. Good idea right here what Ryan Hannigan's thinking behind the dish.
There's a base hit. Beckham advances to second and stops. First and second with 1 out.
Well, down and away with 2 strikes, and Kiermaier. A very good job as this ball's trying to find its way to the outside corner. It actually stays middle down, but he stays inside of the baseball and just shoots it. And out there, slaps it into left field. 90 feet closer.
Rene Rivera will be the hitter for the Rays following the base hit by Kiermaier. Kevin's first hit. Red Sox break up there, get together on the mound. Rene Rivera walked his last time 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to center. So here's Rivera. Runners go. Pitch in the dirt and skips to the backstop. But I think Rivera made contact.
It did. After it hit the dirt, the breaking ball off the bat of Rivera. How about that for being aggressive? And we've seen Kevin Cash do this before. The runners are going. Watch this unfortunate bounce off the tip of the bat.
Right down there in the dirt, and there is a contact. Throw back to second, and Beckham is back in there.
I mean, now you've got that Boston defense wondering. I don't think anybody saw the double steal coming, man in scoring position, but we've seen the Rays do that a number of times. Love to get both guys going.
That's really forcing the issue.
Well, in this case, one Boston mistake, and that run's going to come around to score. So
Pedroia right on the bag at second. Look back there, and time just as Pivaro was set to make the delivery.
Oh, and now you've got Pivaro. You've got the Boston defense wondering if they're going to try it again. You've got Pedroia jockeying with Beckham. You've got Pivaro thinking about it. You got a giant hole on the right side.
One strike to count on Rivera. Again, a pickoff play at second. Pedroia just got to the bag, stayed right there, and Beckham back in ahead of the toss back there.
That's Pedroia doing his best first baseman. Just holding him on.
Beckham pinch running after Dykstra's single to open the inning. Kiermaier trailing at first. This one is low and blocked by Hannigan. Curveball drops in there. It's 1-2. Beckham off second. Pivaro stepping back, and now Rivera steps out.
Cat and mouse game. Everybody trying to get comfortable. Rene Rivera thinking about using the middle of the field here. Don't commit too soon.
And a turn, but nothing. Well, Rivera certainly has Beckham on his mind.
See what one attempted double steal will do. Everybody on high alert.
Now the 1-2. And it's a fair ball up the left field line, and the Rays are going to win it. Beckham comes home with the winner on the base hit by Rivera. 2-1 Tampa Bay. A walk-off for the Rays. And they win this series from the Boston Red Sox.
And that's the official welcoming of Rene Rivera. He get that base hit down the line. Did not use the middle of the field, but didn't need to. He got a breaking ball, and he was able to rip that thing right down the third base line, keep it fair. Here's the curve. It stays middle in, down and all over that pitch. And that's your game.
Rays win this one 2-1. You see the bench erupt with that ball shot fair by third. And they all go out to get Rene Rivera.
Took him down too.
Well, after that 1-0 loss here on Tuesday, and a come from behind 7-5 victory last night, the Rays win this one 2-1. Get back to the break-even mark at 8-8. 2-1 the final, and Todd Callis standing by with Rene Rivera, who provided the game-winning hit tonight. Todd?
Thanks, Dwayne. Rene, what a moment it is for you. New team. You haven't had a chance to get a lot of big hits for this team. What are your thoughts about what just happened?
I mean, I just keep grounding, man. I hitting the ball hard on a defining hole, so I just got to go out there and battle and see a pitch that I can handle, and, you know, I did.
Tell us about that at bat. Kind of frustrating on that first pitch that actually hits your bat after it hit the dirt, huh?
Well, that first pitch was a hit and run, so I have to swing there, and after that I feel like, you know, he's not going to try to throw any strikes, so you'll see the ball up and just react.
You saw the curveball earlier in that at bat. Did you see that last pitch well?
Yeah, I saw it well.
Yeah, I know you were waiting for that one.
I know.
You're kind of looking around, so you don't have to worry. Everything's good now. But you saw the curveball earlier in the bat. Did that help you with the pitch that you ended up winning the game with?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I just saw it for a couple in the dirt, and then after that he threw a strike, and then I just tried to see the ball down, and I just stayed with it.
There you see the ball down the line, and Tim Beckham coming around to score. And then the celebration. How did this go?
Oh, I feel great, man. I feel great to at least you know, get something going on for the team.
Each team does things a little different. How was this celebration out there?
Oh, it's great, man. This is a great team right now, and you know, I'm enjoying it every day. I'm here, and so, you know, I enjoy it every single moment.
Final thing, Rene, you wouldn't have been in that position to win the game had Jake Odorizzi in the bullpen not kept Boston at bay with just one run. Did Odorizzi not have his best stuff and really battled through tonight?
Well, he said he don't have the best fastball today, but I think everything was working out well. He got his curveball was throwing for a strike, you know, early in the count, and a changeup. You know, his changeup is outstanding. So I mean, he battled, keep it in the ball game, and we win.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. A 2-1 walk-off victory for the Rays. And here's that post-game shower. Steven Souza Jr. providing that moment for Rene Rivera, and the Rays win it 2-1 to win the series from the Boston Red Sox. Boxberger the winner tonight. So the Rays have wrapped up this one. They will welcome the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow night. We'll be with you at 6:30 on Sun Sports. For Brian Anderson and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays Live, the post game is next.